Ezra Soldier here, and I'm back talking about Star Trek Discovery Season 4, Episode 12, and my thoughts on this episode. Dull, slow, boring. This episode did not feel like we are near the end of the the series. This is the fucking second to last episode. This is supposed to feel like there's some importance of this episode, and they do try very hard to make you feel like that, but it just doesn't come across that way to me. It doesn't feel like there's anything at risk. It just doesn't feel like that. It feels more of a joke, because this episode, again, from like last week's episode, is just emotions and feelings. And that's probably Discovery's biggest problem, is the fact that all they concentrate on is feelings and emotions. And when they do put science into Star Trek, it doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel like the people talking about the science stuff understand what they're talking about. And it just feels so bloody forced that you just end up looking at the character and just thinking, you don't get it. I can't believe you get it. Just stop, trying to force it. In original Star Trek and in Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, when they talked about science, you always felt like they were the smartest person in the room, or you at least felt like they understood what they were talking about. Even the actors themselves have even said they have said lines that they didn't understand, but the actors were good enough to make you believe they understood it. In this show, fucking hell, it just feels like they're reading off a fucking sheet. It doesn't feel natural at all. And the episode itself was just so goddamn slow. Just full of emotion. It's just annoying. It doesn't feel like we're at the end of the series. It doesn't feel like we're on a fucking clock. I mean, apparently Earth's going to get destroyed and we're just wasting time. Again, I'll get that in the spoiler section, but Jesus. How is Discovery still going? How does any of these episodes get a green light when they feel so goddamn boring? Nothing exciting happened in this episode. Nothing. Everything that was going to happen you could see coming from a mile away. It's just so goddamn annoying that this is what Star Trek is right now. Even with Picard, which by the way is pretty much probably going to be going SJW fast. But again, Discovery was supposed to be the flagship series, the series that was going to boost this era of Star Trek into that atmosphere and give it new life, and it's just not. And it's because of episodes like this, which are just boring and annoying with no likeable characters. The episode was dull. That's all I can say about it. So let's go into the spoiler section now. If you don't want to hear spoilers, leave in 3, 2, 1. So the episode starts off with Discovery heading towards a hyperfield, which is where the 10C live, because it's a massive field that they have artificially created. And Discovery want to make first contact with the emotional sand they found. And they've scanned the whole planet that they were at, and they've managed to find out all the emotions so they can contact the 10C. I mean, for fuck's sake. Again, they have to communicate with emotion. It is a fucking Star Trek show. Maybe if this was just an episode, just a one and done episode about some species with emotion, okay, fine. But an entire series about one fucking species, and that species just talks in emotion, my God, this is an SJW's wet dream. Oh, fucking hell. Anyway, again, it's so fucking stupid. Anyway, Discovery gets to the fucking hyperfield. They send out their robots or dots or whatever they call them to get those to send emotion to the 10C to tell them we come in peace and let's talk and let's make first contact. So the dots get sent out. They then get sucked in by the field because that was obviously going to happen. And then Discovery gets sucked in as well. At this same time, you've got Book and the science guy making up plans to destroy the 10C, or at least destroy the weapon to make sure they save Earth and Vulcan. I'm not calling it the other name, it's called fucking Vulcan. Fucking hell. So Discovery gets sucked in. They then scan the fucking area that's been sucked into, and turns out it's a bunch of planets that are artificially created by a 10C. So this species is so goddamn powerful they can create a massive hyperfield that has planets inside of it, but don't understand how to talk to other races, or can't understand what's sending a dangerous wormhole into areas they have not checked first for life. Again, the 10C seem to be very smart but dumb at the same time. I mean, they're sending out a weapon around the galaxy in random places and don't check for life. They do seem like a very dumb race, but I see at the same time seem to be very powerful. Anyway, so Discovery scan the area they're in. They see all these planets. The 10C are then, they figure out the 10C are now scanning them, and then they get a signal to go down to the to the shuttle bay, where they are somehow getting a communication from the 10C to go there to talk to them. Again, 10C is supposed to be this mega species, but still don't know how to make a communicator to speak to these people. Fucking hell. Because we had to talk to them in emotions, because that was the entire episode. So the 10C fucking starts signaling Discovery with emotions, like a good emotion, a bad emotion, all the emotions at once. And Discovery scan it, and as they realise what they're doing. And the Asian diplomat guy who was sent on a mission, he's there telling them what the emotions are, and says we need to send emotions back to 10C so we can talk to them and tell them we come in peace. So they send out an emotion of love or something to tell them they want to talk. And then we get the science part of this episode, which is, turns out 10C want to talk in math. Yes, the 10C want to talk in math to Discovery. Again, if this species can understand math, how the fuck can they not talk English or whatever other human language? I don't think it's that difficult. Again, this species seems to be very intelligent. How can they not learn how a universal translator works? Just tap into... oh, Jesus. Again, it's just so we can talk in emotions. And just to have an episode where we make the characters look smart. Because throughout these scenes, it's just Burnham saying, oh, we're good at maths. Oh, we can talk to them in math. And we can make these characters look very smart when they're talking about math. They didn't look smart at all. It just really feels forced, what these people are trying to do with these characters. But anyway, so they start talking math with the 10C. At the same point, we have the General of Earth getting worried about her planet, and the Vulcan, who has to be the most emotional Vulcan I think I've ever fucking seen. And I remember fucking Enterprise with T'Pol. Now, again, you could see T'Pol was pushing down the emotions, and when the emotions came out, she didn't like it when it happened. With this Vulcan, again, people can say she doesn't feel like she's putting out that much emotion. You can kind of see she doesn't come off as a good Vulcan. I'm sorry. Okay, she's not a good actress. when it comes to being a Vulcan, because it just feels like there's so much emotion coming off her, and that's not what you should ever be feeling from a Vulcan. Fucking hell. At the same point, we go to Book's ship, where he's got the engineer woman, because again, she's still a part of this show, and they're pretty much keeping her hostage because they don't want her to go tell Discovery where they are. Book is struggling because he doesn't want to portray Burnham, but he does want to stop the the wormhole weapon, and the science guy just wants to go find his boyfriend, even though their relationship still seems so fucking weird. And I'm not saying the gay stuff, I couldn't care less. It feels so fucking forced, that relationship between the science guy and his boyfriend. It never really felt that natural. They did one episode about it, and that's supposed to make you think. Anyway, before I go into stupid. Anyway, yeah, so the science guy has figured out a way to destroy the MDA from where they are. If they get to the power source, they can stop the DMA from destroying Earth and Vulcan. But when they do that, they will destroy the 10C's homeworld, which is going to start a war, and it could lead to a genocide of this species. So Book doesn't want to do this. Well, actually, that's not how it went down. That was at the end, wasn't it? Oh, Book's just making excuses. He feeds the science woman. I'm just gonna get through this stuff quick. He feeds the science woman. The science woman manages to convince Book to ask questions about what the doctor's doing, what the science guy is doing. They have a massive argument because it turns out what he wants to do is destroy the 10C by destroying their homeworld. Book doesn't want to do that because that would make them as bad as they are. But the Doctor manages to hack into the ship's defences and pretty much takes over the ship, puts Book in prison, and then by the end of the episode, he creates a field. He creates the explosion that's going to destroy the 10C's galaxy. That's what happens at the end. I just want to get through this story quick. So back on Discovery, whilst they're communicating with the 10C, the 10C then send a pod to the ship, and the president of the Federation decides to accept she decides to go on the pod to have negotiation with the 10C. Michael then agrees to go, but she then goes in this weird scene with Saru to go to her quarters to talk about the fact that she's scared about going to talk to the 10C because she's got anger issues and shit. So Saru does this weird fucking scene where he screams at her and tells her to scream at him, and this is supposed to help them with their fear and emotion. It's the most cringe-worthy scene that I've ever seen in Discovery. Just having Michael and Saru scream at each other, it really did feel so stupid. I mean, utterly fucking stupid. So they finish up with screaming at each other. They go with the president onto the pod thing that 10C send. Turns out inside the pod it's just a Discovery bridge because they want to make them feel welcome. No, this is because of budget cuts to Discovery and they can't afford to make any new sets because not enough people are watching the show. But let's not get into that right now. So whilst they're in there, the 10C send a device on the ship which turns out to be the weapon the science guy made to destroy the DMA, and Michael and the Saru don't understand why they sent the weapon to them, but it turns out it's the 10C trying to trying to talk to them about why did they destroy their DMA weapon, and and the president tells them to tell the 10C that the weapon was killing people, so they decide to send them a message in math that they are scared of the weapon to tell the 10C that it is killing people. When they send the message, the 10C then realise then show that they do have empathy for what has happened, and that they feel sad that the weapon has hurt people. Again, I know it's not a weapon, but you know it does kill people, so I'm going to call it a weapon. So the tendencies show emotions, the tendencies show empathy. So the president thinks it's a good thing, so because now that they can talk to them and maybe get them to shut down the weapon. At this point, the science guy activates one of Discovery's cells and send out plasma to start a chain reaction in the Tendencies galaxy or hyperfield to blow it up. He does that, and he escapes with Book's ship, with Book and this engineer woman as his prisoners now. At this same point, the engineer shows Book a communication device they have, well, she has been kind of working on while she's been imprisoned, and she says to Book she needs his help to get through Book's ship's security. Book helps her. She managed to send a message to Discovery to tell them to destroy Book's ship at any cost. At this same point, Michael, the president of Saru, gets sent back to Discovery. Negotiations have ended because the science guy has now started a war between the 10C and the Federation, or at least that's what he thinks happening, because he started a chain reaction that could destroy the 10C. And then the episode ends with Michael having to make the decision: does she destroy Book's ship, or does she let the the 10C species go extinct? And that's the end of the episode. It was boring, it was annoying, too much emotions. I hate this show. I hate this fucking show. And that's the end of my review. I'm going to go off now and watch Picard, and hopefully Picard will be something interesting, because I can't deal with Discovery anymore. How this show continues to go on is a fucking miracle that Discovery came out at this point. Because if it came out 10 years ago, 20 years ago, this show would have been cancelled like on season 1. It's just such a bad show with bad writing. But anyway, if you like the video, give it a like. If you dislike the video, give it a dislike. And do think about subscribing if you like my content. Hail the Phantom Menace, long live CG, and fuck SJWs. Bye.